The Joy of Functional Game Dev, Project 1, Episode 11. Please like and subscribe. Hey there again, everybody. We're on Episode 11, so the GitHub release is v0.10, which is the code at the end of Episode 10, start of Episode 11. You can pull that down from the GitHub repo. Link is below. And let's go over take a look at the Trello board, where the things that we're claiming are in progress are we want to support the game controller and we want to put in at least some stubs for these various screens. But before we even do that, let's go over, and what I want to really do is I want to normalize. I want to fix the thing where I normalize the distance that you can move. And my problem before was whenever you normalize something, you get a vector that is a magnitude of 1, and I need that multiplied by something. So really what it is I want to do here is it means the movement table needs to be in unitless measure, and in order to get it into unitless, not exactly unitless, because there will be into a distanceless. So okay, because we have some distance ones, we have pixels, and we have cells, and what we want to do is just have it in a proportion, which is a scalar. So the way we're going to do that, we're going to go, it's going to be 1 over second. And it's going to get very angry with us for a minute until everything is there. So we have negative 1.0. And this will all pay off in momentarily. It's just that we have it. So we're doing this right. Well, we were doing this right, but we're just putting in the how far it is. It's so which direction that we really care about, and we'll get very, very angry when we build. Get built. So fail, because it's going to tell us, hey, I don't know what a per second is. There it is, 1. That doesn't match. Type mismatch again. We're expecting this. So it's a 1 over. So velocity x is a per second times our delta. So it's really just a scalar here. So velocity, and this is where let magnitude equal 5 cell per second times pixels per cell. Up 5.0, because it's floats. So now magnitude is pixels per second. It's really just, and that's times 1.0 second. Okay, so that's how far you would go. So now it's just a number of how far you go in one thing. Magnitude times velocity x, magnitude times velocity y, and velocity should be good to go because it should now be in pixels. And that's the second you bring in units, you bring in the woes of the okay, I'm not dealing with the right units. So magnitude is pixels. And one of the things we can do I have normalize still? normalize. I don't have normalize anymore. Do I have it anywhere? Normalize. Nope. Don't got normalize. Ain't got no normalize. So, then determine delta. That'll return a float per second. Okay. This is where... Really? I deleted normalize. But I don't want distance. So when I determine the delta, I want to add... Okay. I add them all up. Now I want to normalize. Normalize. And it says, so normalize, we'll write it again. Always helps. Well, and it is so it's a float per second. But really it is x, y. So, distance is there. So normalize. And so, we'll just put it in the, units, and then we'll deal with, because right now normalize doesn't need, which is a float 1 per second. Which is a float, which equals, so I want x times x plus y times y. I'm going to squirt it. Squirt it. So, let's say let, call it magnitude equal that. There's the magnitude, and then actually, because now magnitude is in a 1 over seconds. So actually, you know what? Float whatever, because we're float anything, because we're going to get rid of the units. So there's the magnitude, and we're going to put it to just a regular old float. So now magnitude is a float. And so then now x divided by magnitude and y divided by magnitude. So that's going to normalize my delta, which will then allow me, I use magnitude here because I'm going to take my velocity x, which is number of units per second, and that's going to be my unit. We'll call it a distance unit, or unit distance. I dislike using the word unit because of what unit means in F#, but we will, if I were just doing math, this is the term I'd use. My unit distance is there, and actually this will eventually be a calculation based on other attributes, and so that's why it's here. Because I start with, here's my velocity x, velocity y, which will, will go in an entire 1 together, or 0. But in any case, alright, let's test it out and see if. Okay, so here we are, got money face. It's up. We got NAND, didn't we? Sure enough did. So, if magnitude is that, we did it again. I did the exact same thing again. So, if magnitude equals 0.0, then that's not equal to 0.0. Then else X, Y. Ladies and gentlemen. But at least now, okay. Yeah, you probably saw it like, hey, you did that. 2. So now we go that fast. And we go that. Does he look like he's going any different speed? I have no idea. He looks... Well, before actually he did look like he was going faster. Alright. So that's enough of that. And we're starting to... because now I'm starting to get some things here. Because now where am I? I'm in board state. And this stuff... Updating the keyboard state, that's kind of a keyboard thing. Adding a look at, I'm starting to get some utilities here that don't necessarily belong. Okay, obviously add event belongs here among the board state things. This much I know is true. This stuff, don't know. And next we're going to go let normal movement rate equal 5 cell per second. Because that's what we want to do. So normal movement rate, that way I don't have to have this magical value. We do still, so normal movement rate with cells per second times pixels per cell. Up. How many times? How many times? I'm in float land. I need a .o. Of course, I am really used to, does it, see, now he looks like he goes slower diagonally. Is that what's going on? I don't know. I don't know. Are you getting that? Whenever he's moving diagonally versus moving up like that. I don't know. Don't know. Might also be an optical illusion. I have no idea. In any case, it is now correct. And really, this unit is called hertz per second. So he moves at the rate of plus or minus 1 hertz. But again, it's more of a, here's your multiplication factor. So it's basically something that can be normalized so that you can then multiply by a unit that gives you a real rate with real distance measure. Yay for math! But alright, we got that. We got smooth movement. We've got the magnitude following the correct way. And for our next trick, what we need to do is get the gamepad going. Or at least, well, we could also just get the, we could get the other game states going, because that won't take too terribly long. Because here's update game, update title screen. Well, let's take a look at which ones we want to add. So we want a help screen, an option screen, a high score screen, and a pause screen. So pause screen. So these two, help and option, actually all three, help, option, and high score are ones that I want to get to from the title screen and then be able to go back. So typically F1 means help, and we have F2, which means a new game. We're going to go F3 for the option screen, F4 for high score. Maybe we'll switch it later. And the pause screen we will control with the spacebar from the play screen, and we will also have it go back once we're done. But so, all right, let's get those in our game state. Unfortunately, we can say, hey, go to the definition there. We have a play screen. We have game over state. Are we using this anywhere? We are. Oh, that's right, we are. But so we also have a help screen, an options screen, a high score screen, we have a pause screen, and that's going to also be a board state, because when we go to the pause screen, we're going to have the board state that it's going to be paused. Fortunately, we don't. We just say, here's your board state to restore back to your play state. So, and now, go quickly to the rendering, and it's got these squeal lines like, hey dude, you got an incomplete pattern here. It's a paused state, which also has a board state. Draw paused state. Delta, board state, assets, sprite batch. That's a lot of things. Is it called pause state? Or is pause screen? What did I call it? Hey everybody. See, state. It needs to be state. What am I doing? Thinking in screen and, or thinking in state and putting in screen. Alright. Although really here, screen and state are mostly synonymous. Okay, that's not fine. I'm going to build, and it's going to be angry with draw pause state. What don't you like? Pause state. Pattern discriminator paused state is what? Let me just pause. Oh, pardon me. Forgot my D. Okay. Now it's saying, hey, I don't know what you're talking about. So I'm starting to notice a thing. All right. So we don't need that. We don't need that. And you're hopefully noticing the same thing. Help state, eek, state, options state, and high score state. So those things all exist. We'll just call it draw help state, draw options state, and draw high score state. Now those things don't have a board state. So obviously, alright, all these things here together, there's too much in common to really leave in this sort of state. We're going to make everything look like a title screen. We need a pause state, help state, options state, and top 10 state. So draw the pause state. Draw the help state. Option state. And the high score state. The thing that we don't need, up in the pause state we do need a board state, don't we? Draw the pause state. So where does board state go? It goes before assets. And space, here's board state. Okay, now everything is happy. So there's a title state. Oh, we're going to need, and here we are paused, and we have escape. So just, how do you say, space, and pause. And here's help, escape, go back. We have options. Oh, this one also be, these are also escape, go back, go back. Because, like I said, they're stubs. Go back. Yep, happy little these are, for the moment, happy little trees. They will be right there. We'll flesh them out in a little bit. Alright, so now that'll all get drawn, but it will not react very much to it. You know what? I'm going to put this one as escape go back as well. Because here's the problem with our input as it is. You know what? We'll have a pause. So we're going to actually require that the previous state. We're going to work this out. We really are. Alright. Alright, and then let's get let's augment our title screen. 4, so we have F1, 2, F3, F4. F1 is help. We'll call instructions. This one we will call options. This one we're going to say high scores. Okay. And then naturally over here on update, and we have something that is angry because we have these other states that we're not dealing with, and most of them are similar to this. So we've got 1, 2, 3. We've got a help screen. We've got the options screen, and we've got the high score screen. Up. I think this is what's screwing me up, because for title screen I have title. For the title state I have title screen. And then I need one more for pause state. And we should really get to a paused. Update. High score state. Update options state. Update help state. State. And we wind up with. So what will quick action do anything? No. No. And it's got a delta. And then update pause state. So okay, these things. That's the help state, option state, high score state. Yeah, copy pasta is a no-no, right? But not really, because it's a good way to start with what we want it to do. Then we need probably the game over state, update game over state is the closest thing. So update game over state is the closest thing to the update pause state. So we're going to borrow from you, and we have the more complex one. So the pause state. So if is key up is the current key up before. So is it up the space? And then is the key down of space dot space? Then we're going to go with board state, play state. We're going to update the keyboard state too while we're at it. So if before it was a space, if space was up and now space is down, go back. And then otherwise it is paused state. Okay. So then pause state should stay there. Alright. So update the help state. We're just checking the escape key down. Then title screen, else help state. And really, more or less, this is all the same. So option state, it's just now it's the options state and the high score state. Pretty soon here, this play state is gonna grow more. Oh, and that's right, we gotta refactor this. This is super duper ugly. And we will. But so here's that. I think we might be done, and we're ready to give it a whirl, see if we can go through some of those states. And we built. Let's put them on different lines. So it's not quite right. So in render, so you're on 60, you're on 90, you're on 120. Well, that was simple. So we got that. Okay, so I'm not currently. I didn't finish that state. I didn't finish the title state. So update the title state. So it checks that. So we're gonna go with 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And we gotta put our elifs. Elif. Elif. But so if it's keyed out. Help state. That'll be the options state. And the high score state. And this right here looks like a prime candidate for a table. And we may do that, but let's see that this works. So there's help, we go back. There's options, we go back. There's high scores, we go back. There's start, and I don't have a pause yet, so let's do that one. So the new board state is there. And so we're going to do this. So we're going to go if keyboard state that is key down keys dot space. So I have to do the old, so like if board state dot new keyboard state dot is key up keys dot space and then else we're going to, and this makes it ugly, we're going to take board state, update keyboard state with the keyboard state, and we're going to go to paused state. And this is a please, to-do, please clean me up. But whenever we're at the pause state and we hit space, we don't immediately want it to go back, so we can't just have the is key down. It would just immediately, so it would stay at paused unless you got very, very lucky and we're only hold down the button for 1/60th of a second, and you will have a hard time doing that. So F2, we can pause, we can unpause, and our time keeps ticking. Go. When we unpause, after a few seconds, should be back at 55 again. And there. Okay. So cool. We now have the rudiments of... so we don't have the polish. So let's make it... let's make these some stub things. I know how to do that. And actually, wait, we're going to say we're done. Move it on over. Squeeze. That's a stub. Save. Go. Oopsie. We want it to be screen now. So a lot of times, so I'll say these for the end. This is stuff at the end. I will do that's a Polish list, not a Polish list. Help screen, options screen, titled screen, high score screen. We also need some functionality for a high score screen through the GameJolt API and pause screen. And that's going to flesh all that out. So that's going to be on the... So it's there. Nobody can say I don't have a title screen. However, everybody in the world can say that's about the ugliest title screen they've ever seen. It's functional, it's instructive, it's like, yeah, but, you know, how good are my graphics here? You know what I'm saying? I do like, now, the tapping, you go pretty slow. So actually, do I go slower than just going directly? So in any case, alright, we got that. And can we take a look at the game controller? The game controller is somewhere in the input. So keyboard state. Is there also... So let's take a look. So it's Microsoft.xna.framework.input.gamepad or gamepad state. Okay, so gamepad is that, and it gives me a gamepad state. So then chances are I also need... There's going to be a gamepad state dot... Alright. I'm going to guess it's a lot like keyboard state, but let's take a look. Gamepad state structure. So the Microsoft XNA gamepad state has things like, sure, buttons. There's buttons, the D-pad, triggers. So gamepad state. Well, how do I know which one? So this makes for an interesting thing. Because okay, I have, and you just heard it. That's my gamepad. turning on there. So, alright, when we update keyboard state, we also have to have an update gamepad state. So, the keyboard state gets pushed here by the update anyway. So, update game over state, update pause state. So, update play state. So, we get the keyboard state. So, alright, let gamepad state equal gamepad get state, and of course the index. So, time to look at gamepad.get state. Or it is not always safe to assume that the first one is 0. Because you never know. You call get state, checks the return. Check the return structures is connected. If the controller has been disconnected, this value will be false. Alright. When the controller is disconnected, values for its state will not be valid. Good to know. Also, the child will not receive any new. Okay. They decided they had to say this. When a controller is disconnected, values for its state will not be valid. It's disconnected. Also, the controller will not receive any new vibration settings. It's disconnected. Thanks for letting us know that when something's disconnected, we can't read anything from it or push anything to it. Every once in a while. But also, this is there because somebody asked a question. That's amusing to me. Alright. So, one of the things we do know is we have to check the is connected. Is it 0 based? It doesn't tell me. It's like, hey, here's the guy. Get state. That's good. Player index. I don't know. Well, that's fun. And we got a gamepad dead zone. We may wish to take a look at, but not just yet. All right, we only got a little bit, so we're gonna assume 0. Gamepad state 0. Player index. Ooh, it's a player index. All right. Thank you. That's good. So player index 1. So we're gonna assume controller number 1. That's it. That's good. It outwitted me. But it is 0. So player index 1 is 0. Okay. That's very cool. That's very nice of. Let's go back to the board state, and we need a. Okay. Gamepad state. Gamepad state. So it's going to tell me gamepad state is gamepad dot get state player index 1. So good. Alright, so the gamepad state will give it to me for player 1. Here's an interesting thought. So we have 2 different input devices. We got the gamepad and we got the keyboard state. We got arrow keys over here, and I'm going to take one pair of axes, and I'm going to use that to control the guy now. So what happens if I have both? And that's going to be that's an interesting enough question Pause screen. Oh, I didn't put pause screen over here. Didn't actually add you. Okay. So, gamepad input v keyboard input. And we'll just leave it at that. Because, like, we'll kind of put that in progress because we're doing that. And we're going to go with I'm uncertain. All right. And while we're at the cusp of this, and we're able to, we'll also, we'll quick do. We need an update gamepad state. Update gamepad state. State gamepad state. Ugh. Gamepad state. We're gonna do that. We get the gamepad state. It's pretty much any place where I got one of these. It's all an update. Update keyboard state. Really just under play state, huh? Update gamepad state. Gamepad state. And this is where I'm gonna wind up a little hope I don't wind up too inconsistent with my capitalization of gamepad. But it's been known to happen. Because, also, do I really care about the previous... No, I do care about the previous gamepad state. I do. Because I care about buttons. That I do care if a button was not pressed before and now it is pressed. And we're going to find out. And this is where the question is. It's like, alright, if I grab out the gamepad... If I grab out the gamepad state and it is connected, then I want to take that input, but then if it's not, then I want to go to the keyboard. And I think that's kind of what I want to do, but I'm going to think about it some more. And that's going to be, I think that's more or less the decision. So I mostly know how I want to do this. We'll take that off. And we will say, if gamepad connected, use it. If not, use keyboard. But it means we're going to need to refactor the way we have input because I only want to store. Basically, I want to say, hey, read in your input. If the gamepad's connected, store that. Otherwise, store the keyboard input. Which means we're going to need to make a new discriminated union and refactor some stuff. And that'll be cool, but it's something for another day. So thanks for stopping by, and remember to help me out with this project. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time. The Joy of Functional Game Dev, Project 1, Episode 11. Please like and subscribe.